This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. So, let me start with enhancing data modeling, create a new column, create a new measure, and create a table. So, these are the things that we're going to be understanding when to use a column, when to use a measure, when to use a table. Let me click on Power BI Desktop. I want you to understand Power Query almost we are done. Now we are in the Power Pivot. Power Pivot to take one, at least 5 to 7 classes. So at least 1 week classes for the DAX functions and DAX queries only. Maximum functions we're going to be covering so that you should be able to answer a lot of DAX related interview questions very easily. So don't worry about the DAX queries and everything. Now we are going to be getting the data. Let me go and get some data. So I wanted to go to recent places and I wanted to take employee and I wanted to write a lot of DAX queries today, right? So before writing DAX queries, we got to understand what is a new column. I'm going to be taking department and employee. So I wanted to get this data and this data close and apply. This will be loaded to the Power Pivot. This will be loaded to the Power Pivot now. So Power Pivot is a database which is going to be compressing the data, blah, blah, blah. All these things you know already, right? Now, what is that we are going to be discussing today is very interesting point. So enhancing a data model, that is where I'm going to be starting. So this is where we are writing what is called as a DAX queries. Enhancing data modeling is nothing but writing DAX queries. Writing what? DAX queries. Writing spelling is wrong. Writing DAX queries. Clear? So that is what is very important. So we are going to be working on the same. Let me go. So I have a department table, I have an employee table. Step number 2 is that you go, already you could see lot of relationships, one to many. I don't want to have this here. So step number 1 is what? Step number 1 is transforming data, done. Step number 2 is that Power Pivot. In Power Pivot again, you have one is this is the one. So this is where you model the data. Modeling means create a primary key, foreign key. We discuss about one to one, one to many, many to many. So it is already created this one. So this step is beautifully done. So this is a step where we are going to be writing step number B, right? So enhancing data modeling. Enhancing data modeling means writing DAX expressions. Writing DAX expression means you're doing some more extra things here. What are the extra things that we're going to be doing? When you click on this link, when you click on this link, what are the extra things that we're going to be doing? Let us understand. You may work with a measure, you may work with a column, you work with a tool. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we are going to be discussing today. Clear? We are going to be working on this. So already we had done. So these are called what? Power Pivot. So this is already done. Forget about it. Now this is what is called enhancing data modeling. Enhancing data modeling means what? Writing a DAX expressions, data analytical expressions. What is that you do? You do 3 things here. One is called you create a new measure, you create a new column, you create a new table. Create a new measure or a new column or a new table. So this is what is called, enhancing data modeling means. Sometimes whatever be the columns that you have, that is not enough. That is not enough. You wanted to create a one more column. If you wanted to create one more column, so that is where we are going to be writing a lot of expressions. We are going to be writing a lot of expressions. The expression is called as a DAX expression, and using the DAX expression, you are going to be creating a column. Whatever be the reason, whatever be the reason, you wanted to write some expression and derive a new column, derive a new column, so that you should be able to do with the help of this. Sometimes I wanted to create lot of aggregations. Okay, lot of aggregations I wanted to do it. For example, let me go to employee table. So what is employee salary is $100. Employee salary is 200 bucks. Employee salary is 300 bucks. This is a salary column, but I don't have a tax column. What is the tax they supposed to pay? According to India, everybody has to make 18% of the tax. That means 18 rupees, 36 rupees, then 48 rupees is the tax. So this is what is called a new column. I have derived it. This is what is a new column. I have derived it, and this is what is called a new column. This is what is called existing column. So did you understand what is a new column now? New column is where you are writing expression. What is expression? Salary into 18 by 100 is equivalent to tax, is equivalent to tax. Okay, this is what is called a DAX formula. So using a DAX formula, what we can do, we can create a new column. We can write a formula. The formula is going to be executed for each row. For a formula going to be executed for each row, that is what is called a new column. When should I go in for a new column means whatever the expression that you're going to be writing, this expression going to be executed for each row, and it will get the data. For example, I have 100, what is the tax? I have 200, what is the tax? I have 300, what is the tax? This is what is called a new column. Clear? Now, I have one more thing. It is what is called a new measure. New measure means I have this data. I have this data. I wanted to create a lot of aggregations. What do you mean by aggregation? Aggregation means a sum, min, max, average, and count. These five are called as aggregations. I wanted to know what is the total salary. I wanted to take 100 plus 200 plus 300, 500, total 600. What is this? This is what is called a measure. Measure means aggregated value. Measure means what? Aggregated value. Clear? So what is the 18? 18 as an individual. What is the total? 18 plus this, you will be able to get some amount, let us say 172. What is 172? It is a sum of all these values. This is what is called a measure. Okay, so measure means where you're going to be performing a sum, min, max, average, and count. Clear? So what is a new measure? What is a new column? Hope you're able to understand it clearly. Clear? If I wanted to get what is the total or what is the average, what is the minimum, what is the maximum, I can take existing column and I can do the aggregation. Aggregation will store all these total into this. Clear? So I'm going to be creating one more column. So one more column using new column. I'm going to be using what is the grand total for this. The grand total will be calculated with the help of a new measure. So new measure is called as a, it is aggregated data. Clear? Aggregation data. So that is what is the difference between new measure and a new column. So new measure and new column where we are going to be writing DAX expressions everywhere. We are going to be doing a lot of calculations. If you see, we are going to be writing a lot of calculations, and we will be able to write lot of lot of arithmetical calculations that you wanted to do it. Clear? So that is what is called a aggregate. That is what is called new column and new measure. Okay. Beautiful question. She's asking, what is the question? Sir, we can use a Power Query itself, right? So for a new column, we can do it in the custom column itself, right? So custom column where you should be able to perform in Power Query, there is a custom column. You should be able to write, simply a M language expression where you should be able to write. Clear? So that is one thing we can have it there instead of writing in the Power Query level. See, Power Query where you should be able to do lot of data. For example, I wanted to get, there is a year number. I wanted to get, there is a date column. I would like to get the year number data. I wanted to have a first name. I want to get the middle name, or I would like to get this one. I would like to get that one. So these are completely expressions we're going to be writing it there. Okay, I am talking about lot of mathematical calculation that I want to perform. Clear? So this calculation you will not be knowing at the time of writing a query, because your data is ready, you loaded the data. Now they wanted to create a visualization. At the visualization level, they tell you, I need this kind of a calculation to be done. Will you be going back to the Power Query all the way and doing all the steps and coming back? You need not, because all the things, the data is ready, you have cleansed the data, you have applied everything. You do lot of mathematical formulas that you're going to be writing. These formulas that you're going to be using as part of visualizations. So at the time of visualizations, angle, you need something to be done. Okay, so do we have anything here where we can also, without going to the Power Query, we should be able to use something here and writing some formula, so that I need not again go back and load complete data? Because otherwise, every time you go back to the Power Query, write the same calculation, again click on apply and come back here. Okay, I don't want to do that. So okay, where I want to use some formula and I don't want to go to the Power Query and implement, I wanted to still be here and write some kind of a calculation. Clear? So that is the reason where you have one more column. So where we're going to be implementing a lot of DAX expressions, and where you are going to be writing easy formulas and everything, and you need not every time load the data, again do the ETL steps. Because if you go back to the Power Query, again you need to apply and close. Every time you're going and apply and closing, every time apply and closing will take a lot of time to load the data. Clear? I don't want to do it here. I wanted to use some kind of a formulas, and because of that reason, Microsoft is giving some more options for you. New column and a new measure. New column also can be created as part of Power Query, and the same option is also available here. But there we're going to be writing M language, but here we're going to be using a DAX expressions. Both places, there we're going to be using custom column, here we're going to be using new column. Clear? So the next question, compulsory interview question. What is a measure and what is a new column? Column means it is going to be executed for each and every row, right? So I wanted to click on employee. I wanted to understand, so what is the tax I need to pay for these guys? Okay, so I wanted to go to salary, I wanted to go to bonus, and I wanted to calculate the tax based on only salary or based on only salary and bonus. So you can do lot of calculations that you did not think Power Query, and you wanted to create a new formula. What is the formula? The customer is saying you understand and get the salary. So what I do? I wanted to create a new column here. So I'm here. So I would like to create a new column. I would like to create a new column. Now, this is the DAX column name or DAX column name. So DAX column name is called, so tax. This is a DAX formula I'm writing is equivalent to. I'll say column name. What is the column name? Salary. So you need to go salary. When you type salary, automatically you will be able to get employee salary into 18 by 100 and press enter. When you press enter, you should be able to get a tax, and this is what is called a DAX. This is what is called a DAX. DAX will have column names. DAX will have operators, arithmetical operators. Okay, what operators it is? Arithmetical operators. DAX will have a constants. DAX will have a constants. DAX will have a column names. DAX will have a column name and everything. These are the table. This is the column name from the table. This is this column name. Clear? So DAX will have a columns, arithmetical operators, constants, and a DAX also will have a functions. I did not have the function here, but you should be able to have the functions. DAX means what? Data analytical expressions, very, very simple expressions. Anybody can understand. Anybody can understand. 10th class, a 10-time failure student also can understand. It is very, very easy. So where and all we are going to be using a DAX. DAX can be used in your Power Pivot. It can be used in your tabular model cube. Okay, so which is going to be using even your Excel. So even your Excel, we are going to be using DAX queries. DAX queries are data analytical expressions, and you have to be very clear. These are case sensitive language. Okay, so be clear on this. Okay, I wanted to click and I would like to create this, and which is very, very important for you to understand. Clear? So I got this. What is the salary? Salary is this much, and I would like to use the tax. Now I wanted to go create a total salary. So what I do? I double click on this. I wanted to know what is the salary. Salary is here, and I wanted to know, go to border. I wanted to have, data label. Go make it to none. I don't want to have like this. This is my salary. Now I wanted to have what is the total tax. So double click on this. I wanted to go double click on this. I wanted to have a total tax. Clear? So this is what is called a separate symbol, got a created sigma symbol. The total tax is this much. Okay, I will be able to go simply here and add something. This is what is called a tax. You wanted to have a, what is a total balance, a total bonus. So go here. You should be able to get the total bonus. What is the bonus? Bonus is somewhere here. Salary, gender, employee ID. Bonus is somewhere here. So this is what is my bonus. I have my bonus. This is the bonus we're paying. This is the salary we're paying. This is the tax we are paying to the government. What is the tax we are paying? What is the bonus the employees are getting? What is the salary that we are getting? We should be able to perform a lot of aggregations. When we go here, you should be able to see a lot of aggregations. Clear? So this aggregation is called as implicit aggregations, implicit measures. Clear? We are going to be talking about two types of a measure. One is called implicit measure, then the explicit measure as well. Clear? So add a new column. So adding a new column is called as a derived column. Salary plus bonus is called as a total, or we are just now created a tax column. How is the tax column? Salary into 18 by 100. So 18 by 100 we have created, and we named this as a tax, right? So this is what is called a adding a new column, and it is also called as a derived column, which is also called as a calculation, or you can say DAX expression. Create a new column using existing column. So creating a column means creating a calculations. So DAX formulas are going to be using existing columns, constants, expressions, blah, blah, blah. DAX functions operators. Calculations are done for each row. Clear? So the tax is going to be calculated for each row. Clear? So this is what we have done. And what is the total salary? Employee salary plus employee bonus. I want to have it. So I can create one more total salary. I can just go there. I wanted to create what is the salary plus bonus. We don't have that. We have a separate salary. We have a separate bonus. We need salary plus bonus. What do you do? You click on here. You click on go to new columns. Now you say net salary or total salary, whatever you would like to say, net salary. Okay. Net salary is equivalent to salary plus bonus. When you type bonus, you will be able to get this and press enter. When you press enter, it is able to give you net salary. Clear? I have the net salary got created here. It is a derived column. It is not the column coming from the source itself. You can see, you can aggregate lot of things here. I wanted to know what is the net salary of total. Okay, what is the net salary of the total? I wanted to have it. I go drag and drop this. So this is the net salary. What is the meaning? Salary plus bonus is this net salary. So I wanted to create one more salary like this. Clear? So you will be able to perform all these operations. Clear? But all these are called as, all these are when you go, it is going to be doing a summing operation. So this salary or this bonus, this salary, this tax, this net salary, all these are aggregated values. You're going to get the grand total. It is going to be called as a implicit aggregations or called as implicit measures. Clear? I wanted to understand one more thing. Now here, what is a implicit measure and what is a explicit measure? Clear? So did you understand what is a new column? When we need a calculation for each and every row, we are going to be creating a new column. If you wanted to have a measure, then when we need an aggregation or when we need to calculate a percentages, ratios, aggregations, if you want to perform, I wanted to have a measure. Clear? Measures are two types. One is implicit measure. The next one is explicit measure. For example, I have 10, I have 20, or I have a 12, I have 13. I wanted to get the grand total. What is the grand total? We can use implicit measures. So we need not create anything automatically. When you go to visualization and drag and drop something, it is summing. It is summing, not your summing. So the next option is you create an explicit measure. You write a formula. What is the formula? You write it. You write a formula. Sum of these items. You write a formula. Again, you get a sum. Whether you take the visualization level aggregations or whether you take explicit measure. Explicit measure means you're applying a sum on this value. You will be able to get the same thing. 10 plus 20, 12, 22, 22 plus 25. You will be able to get 25 here. You will be able to get 25 here. What is the meaning? You are taking the sum, what is a ready-made sum happening. That is what is called implement sum. No, I don't want to take the ready-made implement sum. I wanted to create with the help of my own, summing, function. So that is also you should be able to done. So what is implicit? What is explicit? Implicit means it is doing on its own. But I don't want to take that. I would like to create on my own. You can create. What is the problem? So how to create a new measure? So we're talking about a new measure. New measures are nothing but creating an aggregations, ratios, and everything. So it is not the column. Column is something here. It is at the end bottom level you should be able to see it. But I don't want to use this. I would like to use a summing operation and I want to create something here. So this is what is called explicit measure. Let me go and show how can we create this. Go here. Now go back to your data model. Now, what is a column? I think you're very, very clear, right? So I would like to create one more column. What is the column? I would like to have it. What is the experience of each employee? So I need to get for each and every row. What is experience? 5 years or 10 years. So to do that, what I do? I go to here. I click on a new column. I wanted to get column name. Column name is what? Experience in years. Experience in years. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to be using a function called date diff. We'll discuss all these functions. These are called date and time related functions. We'll be discussing all these functions as part of your DAX functions. Okay. Date diff function, which is going to be taking what is the date one. Date one is date of joining. Okay. So date of joining, when you press, you will be able to get all of them. Date two, I wanted to use one more function called today. Today means get date in SQL Server. Today's and date 2 minus date 1 will happen, comma. I wanted to get the difference in years. So you will be able to get years and press enter. It is going to be giving you what is the years of experience this customer has, this employee has. Clear? So this is a DAX expression. It is going to be executed for each and every row. Each and every row, the calculation is going to be executed. And this is a DAX function. You're having a function. You're having a column. And these are called different attributes or the constants we're supplying. In this, we don't have a operators. Clear? So this is the functions and columns and lot of other parameters being used. And today is also one more function. Clear? So we have used different DAX functions. We should be able to create what is the experience in years. So that is how you should be able to understand. Now, okay, so that is what you wanted to use it. So minus operation you can do for the only integer values, not for the date and time values. What is the question is asking? The question is, sir, when we wanted to do the subtract operation minus, will that work? So how do you subtract it? Subtract like what? Can you subtract like this? You think on this? I will give you two values. I will give you 2012, 12 and 22 and 20 11 November and 1. So can you subtract like this? Simple minus operation can you do? Simple minus operation means it will minus 2012 minus 2011, 12 minus 11, 22 minus 1. It is not going to work. It is not going to work like that. You have to use a function because we are doing subtractions, multiplication, not to the integers. These are called date and time values. You must use a date diff. You cannot use, so 20 minus 5, it is going to work. 20 minus 10, it is going to work. So you cannot do subtraction without having your date diff function. Am I clear? Mani Prasad, you try to do that. So we'll come to know what is the issues. Clear? Okay. So now I wanted to create and I wanted to visualize this. This is what how to create a column. But I'm telling I don't want to create a column. I wanted to aggregate what is the total salary. Total salary you can get like this. You go drag and drop salary here. This is total salary. This is automatically summarized. No, I don't want to use this. This is a formula, a simple formula. I wanted to create a complex formula, sum minus this, minus that, minus this, a lot of things I can do it. I wanted to create my own measures my own aggregations, I can also submit. If I can perform complex aggregations means, can't I perform simple aggregations? I can also do that. So I don't want to use this here. I wanted to go back and create this time a new measure. So this is what is called explicit measure. You wanted to give new column name. So what is that? I would like to have it. I would like to say sum of salary. Okay. So this is the column name is equivalent to, you wanted to use some function. Okay. Choose this, press enter. What column you would like to use it? I wanted to use a sum of salary. Okay. Not the net salary. Close this button. So what it is going to be doing, press enter. If you observe carefully, it is not adding any column here. It is not adding anything here. But where is the sum of salary got added? Sum of salary got added here. Have you seen this? So sum of salary means it is taking all the values, and what is the total? The total is going to be stored in this. It is not added to the columns. So we are not adding a column. Column means each row you need to get a calculation. So measures are done. It is taking the group of values and do some aggregations on it. It is not doing for single row. Clear? It is not going to be adding anything here. At the end, we are going to be getting a sum of grand total, but it is not there in the bottom also. If you go down, there is no grand total got added here. So nothing is there. Nothing is there. So it is added here. Now I wanted to use. So what is that? Salary. This is sum of salary actually. So I wanted to drag and drop this one. So instead of taking salary, I can take salary, but I will take sum of salary. So the same thing is applicable. Something same thing is seen. It is also summing the salary, which is what is called implicit. It is doing on its own, but you are doing on your own and dragging and dropping. Both of them are measures only. So this is what is called implicit. Okay, it is what is called implicit. It is doing a simple aggregations. It is very important. But tomorrow I wanted to write explicitly some formulas, and I wanted to implement not only some complex aggregations. I wanted to do the summing, and I would like to perform ratios, do this, do a lot of big formula. I wanted to write it. For simple things means I can use a simple aggregations, but I want to perform a complex aggregations means I have to create a formula. You can understand this is a measure and this is a new column. You can see a simple table and it is telling me some kind of a symbol. It is giving me some calculator symbol, something like this. It is aggregated value. It is going to store what? Aggregated value. It is explicit measure, which is what is called as a explicit measure. Whether it is a this one or whether it is a this one, it is very simple. You don't have any problem. Clear? Now one more point you got to understand. So this is also measure, this is also measure, everything is working properly. I wanted to create a tax and I would like to create a sum of tax. So I go here. Now go to new measure. Okay, I wanted to take sum of tax is equivalent to some function, and you're going to be using a tax. Where is a tax? Tax is a new column that I created. The new column I'm using now. It is not, this column is not coming from elsewhere. It is already, I have created this column. I'm using it here. That is fine. I'm able to get the tax and I'm able to get what? One more sum of tax that is also available here. Clear? Sum of tax is available here. Go to visualization. I wanted to go and drag and drop the card here, And instead of taking a tax, you can take the tax here, you will be able to get this. But I don't want to take the tax here. I wanted to get sum of tax. Clear? So this is what is called implicit measure. It is using sum by default. So here I already summed it. I am not doing any kind of a summing operation. Already have summed it. You go, you're not going to be using a summing operation here. Already you have summed it. It is explicitly you're doing it. Clear? So that is what you should understand. Measures are two varieties. One is called implicit, the next one is called explicit. Clear? So end of the day, result wise, you should be able to get the same thing, but you can also create a simple aggregations with the implicit measures. But tomorrow I wanted to sum and do something else. Lot of other plus, minus, into percentages, this one, that one, lot of things I would like to do it. So simple aggregation, simple measures cannot be used. You wanted to use a complex aggregations, means you have to go and create these kind of a formulas there. Clear? And one more thing you can do it here. I wanted to go back here, I wanted to give a currency symbol to this. Okay, currency symbol. So do we have any option to give currency symbols and everything here? Let me go to modeling. Let me go to view. Let me go to help format. So in the format bar, anything? We don't have anything. Data drill down. Do we have anything here? I wanted to give a Indian symbol or American symbol to these ready-made sums. These ready-made sums, I wanted to give something. Okay, show value as. I don't have any options here in these places. So I wanted to give currency symbol to this. So what should I do? I don't have here, but there is a summing operation. So do we have anything here? So let me check. Do we have anything here? You should be able to just do some R&D on it. But when I go here without doing any R&D, this is a explicit column. When I go here, when I go to insert and modeling, and you go these values, formatting and a data drill, so you should be able to get lot of other things that you can get it here. Okay, you're not able to get anything here. So let me show you where you have a lot of other options. I'm the visualization window. Let me go to this window. Now I wanted to go to my measure. What is the measure I'm talking about? Sum of salary. So you go, you see sum of things are, you should be able to understand. Sum of salary, I wanted to have this kind of a currency symbol, right? Sum of salary, whenever you drag and drop sum of salary, I would like to have a currency symbol. I wanted to have currency symbol like this. I simply go and try to get the symbol, whatever you would like to get. English, Jamaica, English something. I wanted to get Indian rupee symbol. So please, stop me if you get the, that symbol. Indian. So I have got some Gujarati symbol. Let me take this. Okay, I have applied some symbol for what? Sum of salary. Let me go to visualization. Where is sum of salary? This is a sum of salary. Let me go and refresh it. So you should be able to get this kind of a salary. Have you seen it? So extra properties that we can easily set. Extra properties that we can easily set. Let me try to put some, this one. So there is no ready-made options are available for this, but you should be able to get some ready-made options. Whenever you create aggregation, you can do a lot of other things. Let me go here. After that, you need to go where? You need to go here. Which one you would like to have? sum of tax. Click on this. Now you go, what is that you would like to have it? You can just come down. These are the some extra properties. It is not a major difference, but some extra properties you can easily put, and you can easily show your currencies and everything. Clear? I wanted to go to different formats. This one auto, and any decimals you would like to have it, you can have it. Lot of things you should be able to have it for this. Okay. So let me go and choose my Indian symbol. Okay. Where is that symbol here? Microsoft is giving a lot of headache for the symbols. So there are different ways in which we should be able to provide. So this is one of the way we should be able to provide, okay, the symbols and everything to the aggregated columns that you have aggregated on your own. You're not going to be using the ready-made aggregations, which is it is doing on its own. So I got this. Now I want to go to visualizations. So I want to go to visualizations. I should be able to get something like this. So we can create a lot of formula, and you should be able to get a lot of things from here. So that is what is the one more point that we got to understand. Clear? Now, one more point we have to be clear to understand this is that measure is not a static value. It is very, very important point that we need to understand. Measure is not a static value. Measure will not be added in the table. Measure is displayed in the visualizations. Measures are two types where we don't write any formula. Okay, that is implicit automatically, which is going to be aggregating on its own basic aggregations. Explicit means with formula, complex aggregations. It is not a static value. This point we'll discuss very, very easily. If you have some operation like this, means it is a basic means it is implicit measure and basic aggregation. This is sum of salary I have done on my own. Now let us understand what is the difference between new column and new measure. When you go in for new column, when we need a calculations on every row, we are going to be using for new column. When we need an aggregation and works on a group of rows or all rows, you have all the data. For example, A product sales is 10, B product sales is 10, and A product sales is 15, B product sales is, let us say 5. So we are going to be getting what is the total. Total is aggregation, right? So 25 and 15, 40. This is what is called a measure. Measure is not a static value. What do you mean by not a static value? You create an explicit measure. So this is one explicit measure called sum of sales. But I wanted to have product wise sum of sales. It will tell you A 10 plus 15 is a 25. It can tell you B sales is a 10 plus 5 is a 15, and it can also tell you grand total. Okay, when you create one measure is not only one static value like 40. So when you drag and drop a product name, it is going to be giving you grand total by taking these values. When you drag and drop this product, it is going to be taking these values and telling the grand total. The aggregations are going to be happening at the product level. So measure is not a static value. You cannot say always it will give you to 40. No. If you drag and drop all the values, it will give you 40. If you drag and drop a product wise calculation, it will give you A25, B15. It is going to be performing not only the grand level, it is also going to be performing at the different levels. So this is what is not a static value. That is what you should understand. Many people think that always it gives only grand total. It is not going to give you grand total. It will give you a lot of other things. So when we need aggregation, blah, 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 it is not a static value. It is what is very, very important. Measure is not a static value. So it will give you grand total. It can also give you a product wise grand total. It can also give you year wise grand total. It can also give you month wise grand total. It will give you grand total. It will take sum, and if you have A10, B10, it is going to be summing only those two products, A10, B10. It will going to be taking C30, D40. It will give you grand total. It will give you A's grand total, B's grand, C's grand, A grand total. This is A and A. C and D, it will give you different aggregation. It is not a only one static value. So it will give you this grand total. It will give you what is S 10 plus 20, 30, and only 30, 20, 30. D is 40. It will give you different aggregations dynamically, which is going to be summing the data. It is going to be taking this data and summing these values and giving dynamic. When you give like this, it is taking all the data, summing. If you give product wise, it will group the data. Product wise, it will take the values and sum it up. Clear? It is a dynamic in nature. That is what is my point. Let me show you one beautiful concept. Clear? New column will increase the table size because we are having 3 columns. Now I'm going to be adding one more column, one more column. This will take a lot of space, but I am having some data. I wanted to aggregate. What is aggregation? This is a formula. This is a formula. The formula is going to be executed on all the values or whatever you drag and drop. So it is a formula which is not going to take any space. Table size will get increased. Table size will not get increased. It stores the formula. Okay. Whenever we refresh, new column values are recreated, recalculated. For example, you have 10, you have 20, you done 10 plus 20, 30 will get calculated when you refresh. When you refresh, new column values are calculated. It is recalculated in the response to the any changes to the filters, or you add any dimension, any visualization, automatically this is going to be recalculated. You drag and drop, for example, A is there 10, B, A is there again at 20, you have a B is a 10, and a B is you have 15. So when you drag and drop this, it will give you 30. Okay, when you drag and drop something else, it will give you 40. Response to any visualization depends upon a visualization. It is going to be recalculating, or it is also recalculated whenever the source data get changes. Tomorrow a 10 will become 5, it will become 5, and you refresh, it will become a 10, and these also will get recalculated. Any dimension data, any table data get refreshed, or any visualizations you are using, not only the product level, year level, that level, that level. I need the sum of aggregations means we can go in for this one. So name must be unique across all tables. Name must be unique in table level. So what is the meaning? The meaning is this. Let me show you. I wanted to create. So I have created sum of tax here. Where I have created in employee. Sum of tax is not available here. So I click on this. Where I am now, I am in this. I wanted to create a new measure. What is a new measure? Sorry, new measure I would like to create. So I wanted to give, that is a sum of tax is equivalent to, I write some sum of, okay, I am writing some department ID here. I don't have anything else. I want to choose some department ID. I want to sum. So sum of tax is available here. Sum of tax. Okay, sum tax. Sorry, it is not sum of tax, which is sum tax. Okay, sum tax. Let me press enter. It is telling me the name sum tax is already used in the measure on a table employee. Choose a different name. So if you create a one measure, the same name cannot be used entire complete model. Throughout the model, the same name cannot be implemented. If you're trying to create, it is not going to allow. Clear? So that is what is called delete from the model. Clear? If you create the same measure here, the same name you cannot be used elsewhere. But I have created one net salary. This is a column. I want to go there and create a net salary. Go there. I don't have, but I would like to create a new column. So create a new column. Give the same name, net salary, and I'm giving some 1200. Clear? So net salary, it is available here and it is also available here. If you create a column, column is individual table level. There is no problem. You can have table level different, different names you can have it. But when you create a measure across model you can have. You have multiple tables. When you have it across model, you can have only unique name. So that is what is the point here. Clear? So name must be unique across all tables or entire model. Name must be unique in all tables. So now I wanted to discuss what is a static. It is not a static value, right? Let me quickly go and go here. I would like to create one more visualization. I wanted to get a visualization like this. So drag and drop some value. Now I go here. I wanted to get sum of tax. Okay, sum of tax is this much. Okay, sum of tax. Let me go to format painter, go here, and I would like to have this. Everything is got created. Sum of tax. Now I wanted to create a table also. I would like to get not only the sum of tax. I want to create one more thing, sum of salary as well. I'm going to have sum of salary and go here. I would like to have sum of salary. What is it I have used? I've used table, right? So let me change this to this. Okay. Now you go there. It is also working fine. Now I wanted to go and have one slicer here. Slicer is going to be used to, let me double click on this. Slicer means filter. So what is that I would like to have? I would like to have some employee name or department name, something like this. So department name, I would like to have it. Clear? So I go here. So I go here. It is some options are not shown clearly. So I go here. I want to create a list here. I would like to create a list. Back to report. I want to create a list. I have created something here. Let me go back and create a border. And I wanted to increase the font. Let me go to items. Now I have a font color. Font color I would like to have 30. So these are the departments I have. Slicer means we will explain later. Don't worry about it. I wanted to get what is the employee department number 10 tax, department number 30 tax. Now see, these are changing. Department number 40 tax, and what is the sum of salary for department number 40, department number 50, department number 60, blank. And you go and remove everything. See, depends upon the filtering, it is able to filter the data. Clear? I go here. I want to know what is the department number. I wanted to give 10. What is the 10 salary? 10 salary is this salary. This is the salary of 10, right? It is going to be getting some salary. I would like to go and what is the salary of 30. So I would like to get salary of 30. The salary is this much. So the same thing can be applied in the visualization level. So you drag and drop a slicer, you drag and drop a slicer, and you should be able to check employee number. So it is going to be having this. It is going to be having department number, this number, that wise. You click on erase, so it will give you the complete grand total. So it is going to be changing. The aggregations are getting changing depends upon the value that you choose it. Clear? So this is what you can simply drag and drop it. This is slicer. Slicer means you can filter something. Double click on this. You should be able to simply go here and drag and drop what department ID. Okay. Then you will get small triangle button here. You choose the list. You choose the list. So you go there and you should be able to click on this. Now go to items. Now increase the font size to 30. These are the list is going to be there. Now if you wanted to select something, you should be able to select. If you want to erase a selection, clear selection. So it will give complete salary. If you need a selection, you can go in for I need the salary for this department, this department. If you need the all salaries means you can remove. Okay, the selection is removed. You can filter like this. Clear? Dynamically, which is a saying, this is say doing. So this is what is called. It is not a static value. Clear? So when to create a measure, when to create a column, I think you understood clearly what is implicit, what is explicit. We understood clearly, and some more DAX functions will will use them later. So simple DAX functions will have existing columns, constants, blah blah blah. If you're having a so let me remove the filter. Okay, if you're having a, let me rename this. I want to rename this. I'll say employee details. When you're having a space in that table name, so what will happen? Automatically, you should be able to get a single quote. Have you seen this? A single quote, you will be able to get it. When you have a space in the table names means you will be able to get the single spaces. Single space means you will be able to get colon. Always you have to choose single quotes and write the table name and then the column name. Clear? So that is what is the point. If you wanted to rename it, you should be able to rename and create a single employee like this. Any other questions? Okay, we'll see all these functions one by one so that we will be able to create a beautiful queries and we should be able to get very nice things. So the requirement here, increment the salary 1000 for department ID 10, for others is this much. So I want to write if and else expressions. A lot of things you can have it. For example, I wanted to write a DAX formula, increment salary for each and every employee. Each and every employee means I have to go in for a new column. So what is that? I would like to have it revised salary. So revised salary. What is the requirement? I'm going to be using if. So we'll understand what is if and everything. Okay. If department ID is equivalent to 10. Put comma. If this is a true, you do something and else you do something. When you have something in the square brackets, that means it is not mandatory. If you see something in the square bracket, that is not mandatory. If something is a true, you do something, else you do something. So you can give the true means something. What is true? If something is a true, salary will be incremented by 1000. Else is not compulsory, but we'll say else is only salary, and you close the bracket. Okay, you close the bracket. So you can see what is going on here. Just me go back. If the department ID equals to 10, clear everything. If the department ID equals to 10, so 10 means 2, 3, it will become department ID 10. You see, observe carefully. If it is a 10, means the salary is got incremented by 1,000. If it is 20, means the same salary you should be able to get it. Clear? If the salary, 10 here, the department 10, 1,500, it has become 2,500. 20 means it is nothing is happened here. So this is what is a formula that we have created. And this formula is going to be having lot of expressions, lot of constants, lot of things that we're going to be seeing. This is a function. What function it is? It is a DAX function. It is a a column name. It is what is called as an operator. It is what is called column value. It is what is called again column name. It is what is called operator, constant value, column name. So you will have a lot of things in the DAX. DAX is very, very easy. You should understand a simple programming, if and else switch. All these things we'll discuss. What is if, what is plus, what is this, what is that? Lot of things we're going to be discussing. You don't worry about all these things. Clear, guys? So we are going to discuss many functions. Okay, so if you have any questions, guys, you're welcome. Otherwise, we are good to go. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you don't have any classes. I'm out of town. So Saturday, Sunday, anyhow, we don't have classes. Monday, we'll meet with the same meeting ID. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. Clear? So this is compulsory interview question, new column versus new measure. Okay, measure is not a static value. Measure is a dynamic value. Measure is going to be having complex formula. So that is what you got to understand. Clear? So this is one I have created. You should be able to get the data. You should be able to create this kind of a visualization. Measure is not a static value. When you check something, all these things are going to change. Clear?